never ending. Strawberry sunsets. You like light when it offsets. You and I don't speak in the same tongue. I am sorry, I'm just not the one. No time to play games. I find it just a little bit strange. Darling, you know me, you know my tears. Rose gold and blush on my face. Chandeliers, marble floors, always going down, down, down. No time on the ground. Clouds in the clouds, not coming down. No, rose gold and blush on. Oil and water, baby. Oil and water, baby. Yeah, we're separating. Oil and water, baby. I don't wanna lead you on. I know that'd be selfish and wrong. Boy, I'm liking your smile. I wish that you could just stay a while. Chemistry just a little too strong, and I'm afraid that we've got it all wrong. And no time to play games. I find it just a little bit strange. You like starry nights and I like city lights, but can't these city lights be reflections of the sky? And you like fire in the snow, and I like lights when they glow against the glass. Oh boy, we'll never last. No, boy, we'll never last, because we're just oil and water, baby. Oil and water, baby. Yeah, we're separating. Oil and water, baby. Oil and water, baby. Ooh, oil and water, baby. Oil and water, baby. Oil and water, baby. You lift me up, then let me down. I'm shattered pieces on the ground, just waiting for you to lift me up again. We fall in love, then we're falling out. Can't live without your words, leaving scars upon my skin. And I don't want it to be the last time, but I don't want it to be like last time. So could you lay your heart upon the table? I can stand, but I don't know how long I'll be able. I just want something real, something stable. Could you lay your heart upon the table? She don't wanna feel different anymore, no.
sometimes to get away, think about it all. And the hardest thing is just letting it fall. Every night I try again to analyze the signs inside of my head. The hardest things to accept are the things you have to try to forget. So many times the voices in my mind got please hear this line. I need a way out of this. Everything you ever say, how can I believe? Everything you ever say, how can I believe it all? I'm just all you say, but you threw it all away. The seasons change, the sun seems to shine on your darkest days. Your jealous ways tell the tale, living with the fear of some big reveal. So vindictive with your words for someone my own enemy doesn't deserve. So many times the voices in my mind got please to hear this line. I need a way out of this. Everything you ever say, how can I believe? Everything you ever say, how can I believe it all? I'm just all you say, but you threw it. Release me now. Release me now. Sometimes things change for the better of the song. Look at me now. Look at me now. I'm not the same. I'm stronger than I've ever been. Look at me Everything you ever say, how can I believe? Everything you ever say, how can I believe it all? I'm just all you say, but you threw it all away. I'm just all you say, but you threw it all away.
Welcome to the Sparkle Show. With us, we have the Lyle brothers from Black Oxygen. How are you guys?
Very good.
Doing great. Happy to be on here, and thank you very much.
Yeah.
I love your music. How long have you guys been around?
We've been around professionally since around 2011. We've had independent success, different managers with us, and then a few years back, our new most proud record, "The Times of Our Lives." We did a deal for that record with this new label that had a big interest in this, Curtain Call Records, and they work with Orchard and Sony Music, so it was really cool. I'm really proud of this new album.
How did you get started in the first place? And were you always in Los Angeles, or you moved there to pursue music?
We lived here for 5.5 years now, but we obviously we're brothers. So we I started singing when I was younger, playing guitar, and Nick played the drums, and we lived together, since we grew up together, and we just always had the ability to rock out together, and just playing vocals, guitars, and drums, and it was just organic chemistry.
So you guys lived in LA for 5 years. Where did you move from?
From Kansas City.
Yep.
Kansas City. There's a lot of cool little bars out there.
A little,
You're long from home, though. I mean, do you go back and play there, and they're like, "Wow, you made it"?
We play there like when there's a show on a tour, obviously, and but yeah, I know the support there is really amazing, and on this new album, that one of the fan favorites is a track and a music video that we did with a friend of ours there as well that grew up and is still in Kansas City, called Tech9, but he's a legend, and we shot the video actually at the Strange Music World headquarters there.
That's fascinating. What do your parents think about this? I mean, saying, "Hey, we're going to be rock stars." I think a lot of parents are like, "Get something more stable." What do they think about you guys?
They've always been very supportive, and just
Yeah.
You know, as long as we're willing to work hard, they're like, you know, go for it.
Yeah.
That's all they really care about.
Yeah, they've always been real cool and supportive. I'm 28 and Nick's 26, and just when we were growing up, we wanted to do it. You know, they were really cool about it. You know, so that's awesome.
Who writes the songs?
A lot of times, come up with roughs on the acoustic guitar, and then Nick will have songs, and then we'll work them over together to make them one amazing collaboration.
The both of us.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's your favorite? What's each of your favorite songs?
On this new album, there's my favorite one is Everything, and my second favorite is Drop It.
Yeah.
Those are my two favorites, and Everything. It was on the most addeds in the whole U.S. on Billboard, and it was
Rock
on the
Radio.
Rock Radio on the top of the charts, like right with Ozzy Osbourne and a lot of different people. But what's yours?
Yeah, I would say Everything and High Rollin'.
Nice. Why is High Rolling one of your favorites?
It's just really strong and like kind of old school style. I really like
So
that.
who wrote that? Who wrote Everything, and who wrote High Rolling? I know it's you guys write together. but how did you
Everything was a song that I did. I wrote on my acoustic guitar, but yeah, everything on the record is, you know, the cool thing about this album is all the songs are true stories, and they're true things that really happened, and true meanings. And there's a song, "The Times of Our Lives," on the record that mentions the Playboy Mansion. We actually got to go to the last party they ever had there as well. And so that was cool. But all the songs
smart.
have real meanings.
Hey, that was really smart. You write a song about the Playboy Mansion, then that's your invite. I like that. That's a really. I know you didn't probably plan it out that way, but that's smart.
And then there's a song on Times of Our Lives as well, a song, and it mentions Neptune's Net. But there's I don't know if you've ever been there, but out in Malibu, there's a spot, Neptune's Net. It's like an incredible seafood place. If you haven't been, you gotta check it out.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's on my to-do list. So I got to know how you guys got connected to my boy Shifty, and that was really exciting when you guys told me about that, because I have known him since I was 16 years old. That's how far back me and Shifty go. So like, this is a picture of us back. I was 16 years old, and that's me, that's him, that's my friend. I used to write for this paper, and so I went backstage at a press pass and interviewed him. And since then, we've been friends. So every couple of years, I go to his concert. I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" And then we'll party. Like,
oh, nice.
I went just last year in 2019 in June when he came to Central California. I went there. But yeah, so that's so me and Shifty we go way back. How did you get connected with him?
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah, we became great friends with him. We just we happened to be on the bill of some shows together, but out here at the Whiskey A Go Go, and then we exchanged phone numbers, and he's followed us on social media and stuff like that.
How exciting! Wait, before you guys met, he followed you on social media? Like
no, we met at the Whiskey. We met at the Whiskey A Go Go.
Oh, and then he liked you. Okay.
We did a show together. We exchanged phone numbers, and he followed us on social media. And there was a new song on the record called "Burning Into the Night," and it was
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it was a Crazy Town vibe style song. So I sent it to him and he really liked it. So he recorded vocals on it and he sent it right back. So he's on the new record too. And then he said, hey, we're going on tour in Canada. I want you guys to come with us. So we went on tour together in Canada and we had a total blast, just staying at hotels together, going to play shows and just meeting all of both of our fans' bands on the ride.
Wait, when did you guys go on tour together? What year was that?
Just in this recent November. And then on the tour.
Oh, so I missed you guys.
And then
you guys weren't with him in June.
Right.
And then then on this on that tour, we shot a music video. We brought our videographer out, and we shot a music video on the tour for the song "Burning Into the Night" that's on YouTube as well.
That is so awesome.
And then we got into it was, and then also too it was real cool because I grew up listening to that song "Butterfly," so he had me on stage and we performed it together as well. Butterfly, it's on YouTube.
Yeah, it's funny because when I'm a genuine fan of these bands, I like the hit songs, but I like all their other ones. And I really liked the last time I saw him in concert in June, he played Little Black Box. He played songs I like that a lot of people don't know. They're just really true fans. So what's your favorite, now that you got to know him, what's your favorite song?
Oh, the other favorite song than Butterfly is I like the song Black Cloud.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Black Cloud, not Black Box. Yeah, that's my favorite one. Yeah, and I was so happy that he plays that at concerts.
Right. Yeah, there was also a new one that they kept playing when we were out with them, and it was really, really good. I think that's probably my favorite song by them, but I don't think it's out yet. I don't think they're.
I don't know the name of it, but yeah.
Might have been called Fly Away.
So he's been doing this for so long, and like I said, I've been with him since I was 16, like following him, and I seen the up and down, fame, partying, all that. And I know he's in a great place right now. Did he give you guys a lot of advice of how to avoid the pitfalls of the partying of the rock star lifestyle?
He talked about it. We've experienced some very wild experiences on our ride too. And so you just kind of live and learn. And as things happen and time goes, Yeah.
So it's like it keeps you grounded. You're with him, and you guys can hang out, but at the end of the day, just business and keep focused.
Yeah. And he doesn't party at all. So anymore.
And well, actually, by the lyrics in your songs, I guess you do have a little bit of a party streak. I've been listening to your album all day. I was like, there's a lot of partying, but you guys seem so focused and serious that it's like, I think you guys have figured out there's a time to party, there's a time to be all about the music.
There's good times, but work is always the priority, and absolutely, yeah.
How many tours have you guys done so far?
We've been
touring for about
we really kicked it off touring in 2012. Before that, when I was at the end of high school, some people in the music industry that heard about my guitar playing through a band competition, Battle of the Bands, the whole Midwest, and we won. And this guy got a demo, and he was friends with people that were in Atlanta and Los Angeles, and associated working with Jamie Foxx. So I got to come out to the studio with him before I lived here and meet him, and they really were, and they were really inspiring about my guitar playing, and they're like, "You're really talented," and that was really before I was like really singing, so starting to. Then after I spent some time out here and got to hang out and meet a lot of different people in the music industry, there was the budget for the album, and the manager we had at the time, he got us on this amazing show was one of the biggest rock fests in the country, actually in Kansas City where we live, called Rockfest, and it's like 50,000-60,000 attendance, and we performed there. That was really kicked off all the touring. So in 2012, we played there, Slashers on the bill, Shinedown, tons of, and so it's on YouTube. There's a video, Escape the Pain, and it's like a sea of people, like a never-ending people, and in the crowd. And so yeah, from there we've did like a tour that was like 60 shows, but we've been touring consistently since 2012 with a lot of great acts. Doing our own tours and shows as well, different festivals.
Wow.
And yeah, on each record though, like on our first record, American Dream, on our second album, Beating Time, there's a songs that were on the rock charts, independent success, and then a song called Living the Life that the NFL used on TV during a
The
game.
UFC.
Yeah, different sports.
How exciting. Wow.
Does it use the music? And so yeah, we do our recordings with a great friend of ours that we met on the musical journey as well, Brett Hesson. He was actually the touring bassist for the band called Creed. He's an incredible producer. And then all the videos you see of Black Oxygen are done by friends we grew up with as well. They moved out here called Real Goats, and they do all the videos now for this artist called DaBaby. But if you look at our stuff, they've done the videos, and yeah, things keep folding, keep coming like dominoes as you know, we just continue to grow older and the band gets more and more fame and success. So it's cool just to see the journey grow as time.
And you guys
goes,
have a great team. It seems like you have a great team behind you, and that's what's really helping a lot.
Yeah.
What was
We,
your favorite place that you went to on tour?
On anyone or just on a recent one?
On this last tour, I would say that Montreal was probably the coolest.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, because it was just a Canadian tour, but
It was.
that was probably the coolest.
Yeah, I've only been out the country on a vacation to Costa Rica and then Canada, so want to go other places. So it was interesting, just the certain different things there
Yeah.
in Canada than here. Like we got at the airport, and it was because I was looking for the Ubers, and everyone was like, they didn't know what it was, and there's no Ubers here.
Yeah.
We don't have Ubers here.
So what do people do
So-
in Canada? Is it taxis?
They just have the yellow cabs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
Vancouver.
funny. Black Oxygen. You gotta explain the name, guys. I have a lot of
Um,
ideas, but I want to hear it.
Actually, I'm curious to see what your meaning is, because it's probably not quite what you think. But
Probably not.
it was just the coolest name that we thought, that had some cool vibes about it, and there wasn't really much more than that. It was just like a whole bunch of names on the paper, and it was like, this one looks the coolest out of like these 200 names, so we'll just use this. But what was your
There's no
idea?
story behind that.
There's not.
No, I was just thinking, it's like breathing toxic air. I had all kinds of ideas. I was thinking that there was something about the toxic air and breathing it, and
It kind of is that, though.
Yeah.
what do
It
people
is-
come up with when they say that, when they ask about your name?
Right.
It's become more fun over time to hear what people think, because we're really honest about it. It's just seemed like the coolest name.
So, but am I off? Has other people said that about that, or am I like the only one to say?
Oh, they've said something like that. Absolutely.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
What was the runner-up? I'd like to know what the runner-up name was.
It was very similar to that in all different forms, like
Yeah, pretty much.
Deathly Air,
People
Into the
think
World.
like bombs.
Yeah,
It was all bad
yeah,
air with you guys.
yeah. It was similar to that.
So there's you two guys, the brothers. Who else is in the band?
It's just us. It's always been Nick and I's band, and when I started it, years ago, and we would, on certain tours, we would have different friends come rock that are touring musicians.
Because I saw in your music video there were other people there.
Yeah.
Besides just you. That's I was wondering who else. Is it just
videos.
you change it
Yes.
up? You switch up their musicians?
We'd have different friends in the videos and play with us live, and now we just perform just both of us live, and In fact, if you haven't seen us live on YouTube, there's from a recent sold out show. There's the full show's up on YouTube from the Whiskey A Go Go, from our recent show there. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Okay. And all of your music is downloadable right now, right? Did I listen to everything
Yep.
current?
Yeah. So the Times of Our Lives, the deluxe edition version with 27 tracks. It's in all online stores and streaming services worldwide. But right now during the quarantine, we put it up for free download on our website, blackauctionmusic.com. And then our Black Oxygen, David and Nick Lyle social media, we're on the Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Steel Black Oxygen, and people could subscribe to our YouTube channel as well for all the latest videos.
Awesome. No, this is so cool. What's next on the agenda? Was the quarantine messing up your tour dates?
Because of
Everything's kind of shut down.
yeah, we're just
But were you
gonna,
supposed to be
gonna
touring right now?
wait and see. Right. Well, we were going to be looking at doing some shows, but we're not able to, obviously. And a lot of people aren't doing shows for the whole entire rest of the year. So
Oh, right. But
Yeah.
you don't know about you yet if you're going to continue touring this year or not?
when the world opens
Yeah, I guess
back
we'll have
up,
to see.
you will see us.
So when you tour again, is it going to be with Crazy Town or is it a different band now?
Oh no, we tour with all different types of bands. There's a lot of different booking agents that we work with. So it varies. It always just depends who, booking agent feels like a good pair with.
So you don't have it set yet who your next partner is going to
Right.
be?
No. Those things usually happen like. There's no tours because of the quarantine right now, but then a booking agent will usually call and say, hey, there's this tour with so-and-so. It'd be a great fit. And then those things happen. And then like 3 months later is the tour after they promote it and
wow.
everything.
That's
Yeah.
how it all works. Imagine. I mean, were you happy with all the bands you got placed with? Or was there something that you were hoping to tour with that didn't happen? Or
All the bands that we
Yes.
played with have been real nice, real cool.
who's your dream musician to tour with? I know you have a dream band out there.
Guns N' Roses. Guns N' Roses.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, but that very well could take place. Slash's son is a friend of ours,
Nice.
London, and he saw us live at the Whiskey A Go Go, and he reached out and said, I love the band, I love Nick's drumming. That's very possible of the Guns N' Roses thing to happen someday.
Who was one of the most incredible people that you've ever met that you were shocked that you saw at a show or shocked was a fan of your band?
I've met a lot of superstars on all levels. The nicest guy that I've ever met that was a star was Dwayne Johnson.
Oh my
he was-
God. That'd be like that's on my top list of people to meet.
Right.
Yeah, he was the nicest guy of all.
Yeah, it was super cool.
But yeah, and I believe in his mentality, how he's said on his social media. But like, if there's fans that will recognize us out and stuff, I'm always up to take a picture, talk, and stuff like that. I know that some people aren't, but I believe in just good vibes.
Right. Well, you guys are incredible. I love that you took the time to talk to me because I see you guys blowing up and everywhere. I love your music videos. I love your music. And I guess I just have to keep up on the social media to see all of your future tour dates because I'm going to be at the moment this opens up and you guys are performing in Cali. I'm going to be there.
Absolutely.
Sounds good. We'll hang out. We'll have a good time.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks so much.
Hi, Alexin. How are you today?
I'm good, Sparkle. How's everything over there in Los Angeles?
Oh, amazing. Okay, your career is so fascinating. There's so many different facets to it. Can you walk us through a little bit about your history as a sports journalist and now what you do?
Well, Sparkle, I'm so old that back in the day, I used to have to send in VHS tapes in hopes to get a job. So nobody knows what that is anymore, right? Do I really have to give the date, first of all? I guess I should. Back in 1999, when I graduated from Fresno State, I sent in about 30 VHS tapes with my resume, of course. And then I got a lot of postcards saying, who the heck is Alexander Balakian? That name just is not going to resonate on TV. And then all of a sudden, I got a call from a little town in Victoria, Texas, and which is, about an hour in between San Antonio and about 2 hours from Houston. So there I was in Victoria, Texas for about a year. And then suddenly I got a job up in San Antonio, and my sportscasting career went from there and covered every major athlete, every major sporting event for the last 17 years, from Phoenix, Arizona, back to Fresno, California.
Were you a big
obviously.
sports fan? Was that your goal, was to do sports?
Yeah, because obviously my stature is not, Michael Jordan-esque, as you could tell. So obviously I
Hey,
had
we're
to
very
figure out a
strong
way
though.
to,
We're good at the powerlifting.
it's the jacket. It's the jacket. But obviously I wanted to be in sports, but I knew that I wasn't going to be the tongue-wagging Michael Jordan jumping in the air for, at least 5 hours. It wasn't going to happen. So at the age of 6, I made the consensus decision not to go pro, and obviously start my sportscasting career. And there it went. I decided early on that's what I wanted to do, and I stuck with it. My parents said, get a real job. And then once they figured out it was a real job and how hard it is, sitting in 100-degree weather, covering Little League games to start your career all the way to covering the NBA and NFL and the Dallas Cowboys and all that good stuff. So it's been a wild ride.
That is so fascinating. So what brought you back to your roots?
Well, it was amazing. I was in
What brought
Phoenix.
you back?
Yeah, I was in Phoenix, Arizona, and I wanted to do a career change. I wanted to go to the dark side of news and politics, and my agent at the time said, well, I found a place, and I said, great, let's go back to Fresno. And he goes, nope, you got to go to the East Coast. You got to go to Virginia. And my first job, yeah, I did. I loved it. It was in Roanoke, Virginia, which is about the same size as Fresno, actually. And there they said
Really?
you could do politics right away. Yeah, you could do politics right away in Washington, D.C., and so I did. And but my hometown called in 2018. The general manager here at KC24 called me while I was on the golf course one day, and he said, you ready to come home? And I said, is this a bad joke? Because I'm about ready to put a birdie in. And he said,
and you've been trying for a
no,
while.
that I've been trying for a while. It's hard to get a birdie. And he said, come on home. We got you taken care of. And soon enough, I was back home, and here I am. News and politics. Now I have my own political show every Sunday, and, anchor the nightly news with Stephanie
Give your true
Berugian.
opinions on your political show? Nice.
What's that?
Are you honest on your political show? Do you give your own opinions on your own political show?
I don't offer my opinion because, unlike cable news, I like to have the other politicians lie. I don't like to, I'll call them out on some things, but, they get themselves in trouble if they want to say something wrong. And then we can call them out on it, and I have a panel that calls them out on it. So I offer not my opinion, but a down the middle objective
Good.
what politics
That's good journalism.
of what politics can be if we all just get along. But that's not going to happen.
So what's it like working with Stephanie Berusian, who's like a legend? I mean, she's been around ever since I could remember, and she looks very young and beautiful, and she's just been great. I mean, what's it like working with her?
Well, she's timeless. And
She really
it's
is.
funny because, yeah, and the funny thing is, and I never tell her this, so I won't say it too loud, but I mean, I grew up watching Stephanie. I don't want to say that out loud. Stephanie.
Okay, so we are on the same page.
Yeah. So, when I was named her co-anchor, obviously a dream come true for me. I mean, naturally, Balakian and Berusian and Balakian, it's just, rolls right off the tongue, right?
Hey, it does.
Yeah. So she's a great, actually, we like going to wineries together and that kind of thing. She's just really
fun?
cool.
She gets down, huh?
You know what? We have a lot of fun. In fact, our conversations during the commercial breaks, a lot of people don't know, we have like good, deep conversations during the commercial break. And sometimes we forget that we have to come back and do the news. So it's just a good time. It's just a good time. And we're the only Armenian anchor team in prime time in the entire country. So
how does that feel? Does that put a little
check
bit
out.
of pressure on? Like, you have to be awesome because, I mean, you're representing big time.
Yeah, I think there's more pressure in Fresno because your family is watching every single night, and so of course they're gonna kick and prod. Yeah, they're gonna be their own critics at this whole thing. But I don't know if anybody else really knows that outside of really the market in the region. But we're certainly proud of it. And as you know, the Armenian culture in Fresno runs very rich and deep, and we're very proud of it. And, we're very involved in the community. And it's just a fun time right now. It's really a dream come true for me.
What did you think about how we just celebrated April 24th? Not being able to do our usual traditions, not being able to do our Fresno State Memorial, not to be able to do all the things we usually do. What do you usually do on April 24th?
Well, I know for the last couple of years I've been honored to MC the event at Fresno State. I've also.
And I think she was there last year because I was there.
Yeah.
I remember her there. You were.
Yeah, Stephanie and I MC'd the event over at Fresno State. And then, we MC, whether it be at Holy Trinity or City Hall, where they do a ceremony every year. But this year, obviously, we didn't get to go and commemorate the 1.5 million lives lost to the Ottoman Turkish Empire, as you know. But
our
this year was
105th
interesting.
year anniversary.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. What was interesting is the Armenian National Committee here in Fresno. They obviously were doing a little commemoration over at Fresno State, and there was a small gathering. We covered it, but I sent a text message to the Armenian National Committee and said, "Hey, let's make sure that we raise the Armenian flag at City Hall like we do every year." And Sevag Tatiozian, who is one of the leaders of the Armenian National Committee at this time, texted me back and said, we hadn't even thought about that. And quickly we called the mayor's office and said, hey, even though we're not going to be there, get that flag up there, perch it up. And sure enough, they cut some video of it and we ran it. So they weren't going to do it at first. And then we made sure that tradition did stick.
That's incredible. That's so amazing. Yeah. And just to be in a town rich with the Armenian culture, how was it? Because in Texas, did they even know what an Armenian was when you moved over there to Victoria?
No, they were like, what the heck is that? Obviously, so my first job, of course, truth be told, I had to cut my name down to Alex because they're like, Alexan Balakian, that's just too much culture. Nobody knows what that means. So I had to cut my name down to Alex Balakian, which it just drove me up a wall. I hate changing my name. In TV, you have to change your name sometimes. I get it. But I was the guy that said, I think my name is so unique and so long, and Vanna White has to turn over so many vowels that I want to keep it. So, finally, when I got to San Antonio, I got to keep my name. And, the basketball players, including, I'll never forget, head coach Greg Popovich, who's already difficult with the media anyway, he looked at me and he said, don't you ever think I'm going to say your name. I'm never going to say your name, all right? And I said, okay. So what do I call? I asked him, what do I call you? He goes, just don't call me what you want to call me. Just call me Coach. I was like, okay, great. Then we were off.
Oh my God.
So there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, people ask me about my name. My name is really Sparkle. My Armenian parents actually named me Sparkle, and I wrote for the Fresno Bee when I was 16. And people, when I moved to LA, everyone was like, "Is that a made-up name?" But when I lived in Fresno growing up, I didn't get made fun of. Now as an adult, people give me a hard razz about that all the time. So I'm sure for you, you must have gone through the whirlwind of every little place that you lived, having an experience like that, something different.
Well, at least yours is easy to not only remember, but obviously to pronounce. So everybody gets my name wrong,
Oh,
and you know what?
Surprised.
Yeah.
People get people can't say my last name right.
Right. And the funny thing is the congressmen that I have on the show, they always get my name right. So at least for being a politician of their constituents, they do get names right. And so, because I have the toughest. So I give them credit there.
Who was your most memorable interview that you've had?
Of all time?
Yeah, or one of them. I know you might be hard to narrow down, but what's one of them that you want to talk about?
Well, I think what really jump-started my career was right when I got into Victoria, Texas. I had only been there for 2 months, and the news director came to me and said, well, everybody here in South Texas, they love the Dallas Cowboys. I said, well, yeah, I figured that. So they sent me to Cowboys camp, and at that time it was in Wichita Falls, and that was the first year that HBO started their Hard Knocks series, the very first one. And a lot of people will never remember this, but I was actually featured in Hard Knocks because I threw elbows to get into Jerry Jones so I could talk with Jerry. And I'm the only one.
Wow.
I'm the only one that still had a cable hooked up to the microphone, and my camera guy, who was still in high school, was buried alive by the other photographers, and I'm just dragging him with this cord, and I got in there with Jerry Jones, and I ruled the conversation, and it was featured on HBO Hard Knocks for the first time. And
how fun.
But the funny thing about that story is that was the first day that Jerry Jones had come to training camp that year, because he was just coming off his very first facelift. And so he had to wait to come out into the sun. And there I was, I kept him up, and his face was like melting. And I'm like, and he looked obviously different because he had his first face tuck, if you will. And so it was just a bizarre thing. Yeah, very bizarre. But yeah, that was pretty memorable. One of my very first big league interviews, and there you go.
What is your feel your success, parents, and are they like super happy because you didn't get this stuff in the South and the East Coast, or what do they think of all of this in your community?
Wait, say that again, because I didn't catch the first part.
What is your family, like your parents and your community that you grew up in? What do they think about your success? Because they probably didn't get to watch when you were in Texas or watch everything when you were in Virginia. And now they get to watch everything. What do they think about? It's got to be
inspiring because, like you said, you are just a little Armenian boy from Fresno doing this, that, and now you're here.
Right.
How is it?
You know, it's crazy because, again, my parents never thought I would make it this far in television, and neither did I, frankly. But as it kept going, my parents were like, well, where are we going next? So my parents would fly out to wherever I'm working, and they think it's just a vacation. And I got to tell you this story. Yeah, this is probably the best moment I've ever had with my dad. And everybody knows my dad, Frank, in Fresno. I mean, I'm still Frank's son. It's no longer, you know, I'm not Alexander. I'm still Frank's son in Fresno.
I love that. That's good.
Yeah. So, ironically, my dad came out. He was actually on a business trip to San Antonio, and I said, "All right, well, I can get you a ticket to the San Antonio Spurs game. I'm working, but you can come with me," and that kind of thing. So. My dad comes with me to shoot around, and, you know, we're still one-man banding at that time. And so I let him be my reporter, and here's my dad, and, you know, and all the other reporters are looking at me like, who the heck is this guy? And so my dad is interviewing Bruce Bowen, and Bruce Bowen is just looking at him like, are you serious right now? Who is this guy? So then we get to the game, and I did a couple of live shots before the game, and I told my dad, hey, just go ahead and sit on this particular chair on the bench. So during shoot around, he's sitting there, and then some tall guy comes up to him and says, and again, nobody's on the bench, just my dad on one chair, and I knew what chair to put him in exactly, because that person that came up to him to tell him to get out of my chair was Tim Duncan. And Tim Duncan's now a Hall of Famer in the NBA. And Tim Duncan said, get out of my chair. What are you doing in my chair? So I set my dad up knowing that was Tim Duncan's chair. And
you are so mean.
Yeah, but, you know, it's like, my dad is like, oh my God, Tim Duncan talked to me. You know, it's like, you know, for him,
that
was like a big deal.
That is so funny.
Yeah, so they enjoy obviously what I've done. They went to Virginia. I mean, they've been everywhere I've gone. So they think it's a vacation.
That's so great. Okay, so your shows, you guys do the primetime, you and Stephanie, and then when's your political show?
Well, I take the political show actually on Fridays during the pandemic right now, and everything is via Skype, kind of like what we're doing now. Right. And so and obviously I'm picking guests depending on the current events that are happening, and obviously some of the controversy that's happening, whether it be local, regional, or national. And then it airs right after Meet the Press with Chuck Todd at 8 a.m. So, you know, it's a show that is, that's true. Yeah. KC24.
I wonder how I was thinking. I'm like, where have I been? Okay, I'm usually working on this. That's why I've never caught the political show. Because I'm like, I see you guys on primetime. When's the political show? Okay, 8 a.m. I'm going to record it now that you told me that.
Yeah, it's a crazy show because it's the only one in the region. And what I love about that show is that it provides all new content that people aren't getting during the week in any newscast. And people like the politicians, whether it be the mayor or city council members or congressmen, they're giving you extra information that they're not giving the rest of the public sometimes. So it's almost exclusive content that people have yet to hear, and so that they really tune in. If you like politics, you got to have a stomach for it, especially these days. And please, anybody out there, do not drink any bleach or Lysol or anything like that. Do we have to mention that out front? I mean, I'm not sure, but just don't do it.
Who was one of your favorite to interview during this pandemic? Who said stuff that surprised? You don't have to agree with them, but who said stuff that was like really interesting?
Well, Congressman Devin Nunes is one of my favorite interviews because he never holds back. He's controversial. And whether you believe him or not, or you agree with him or not, it doesn't matter. He is giving you a straight line answer of what he truly believes is happening, and what he says he's investigating, or what he believes to be happening, where Democrats are, whether it be a Russian investigation or the impeachment or what have you. He is so immersed into the left versus right that his take on things is just so candid. And I think that's what you want in a politician, that it's candid enough, and they're not giving you the company line, and they're not towing a line. And Devin Nunes feels pretty secure in his skin to give you some of these harsh comments sometimes. And you kind of just stand back and say, boy, did he really say that? But he did. So he's I don't agree. Again, I'm not agreeing with what he says totally.
Yeah,
But what I appreciate is that he's candid about it, versus some other politicians who you can tell are just lying through their teeth.
Where can we catch this interview? Can I go back and look at it on YouTube?
Yeah, so actually it's on our website, yourcentralvalley.com. And
Okay.
actually he was on the show a couple of weeks ago. And so we were talking about that. He actually ripped the mayor of LA, Eric Garcetti, for not wanting to do live sporting events until 2021. He laid into the mayor. So anybody there in LA, Sparkle, that's listening, Congressman Nunes doesn't have too much affection for the mayor of LA right now.
Wow. What did you interview about him? Because I interviewed him, and that's interesting.
About Mayor Garcetti?
No, Gary Bradfeld in general, as about the pandemic. I had interviewed him since the pandemic. It's been very vocal on social media, as I'm sure you've heard. Did you interview him since the pandemic?
Actually, he was supposed to come on my show, and then he canceled, and then he was supposed to come on this week, and I have yet to hear from him. So.
And he made it on mine? I feel special.
I know you should feel a lot special there. It's probably
maybe I was too
Sparkle,
harsh on him. He decided not to do any more interviews.
Yeah, about hey,
No,
it's either
I
that
was
or
not.
you're
I
just
don't know.
Sparkle. Let's just admit it. I'm not. Does this face look TV ready to you? I don't know. Come on.
Hey, it's been doing good this far.
Yeah. So.
What about
God,
coming up? Do you have
God
anything exciting? Well, who's this week? Who's on Friday?
This week we got some interesting things. Obviously, Governor Newsom is looking to start phase 1 of reopening. And I think there's almost like this rebellion among people statewide, maybe even nationwide. They just want to get back to work. They want to get back to their livelihood. They want to get back to some sense of normalcy. Obviously, we got to do that with caution and care. But what's interesting is today, Governor Newsom said, I'm leaning towards opening up the schools in July. Well, the state superintendent came out and said, this caught me by surprise. I didn't know. So, and of course, in Fresno, it's the 3rd largest school district in the state. And so I have the superintendent on this week. And I also have the guy in Fresno that may be able to be the one guy who is the turnkey to open up businesses in Fresno County. He's the turnkey. He may be the one guy that makes the call, and that's the county health director, Dr. David Palmaville. So he has actually, he's kind of been a sort of a Dr. Fauci when it comes to a White House briefing. Dr. Palmaville has decided not to attend the Fresno County briefing each and every day. He's kind of been under the radar. but he is the
Wow.
guy on the. He's been the guy on the task force that he may be the one guy that tells the mayor it's time to open up business, and that could come May 7th. We don't know yet, but so he'll be on the show. And then we have a Fresno City Council member that is on the verge of suing the state and the city because he believes the stay-at-home shelter is now unconstitutional.
Wow.
So, yeah, so
Wow.
things that blow your mind in politics, and there you go. So it'll all happen.
Well, thank you so much for coming on, Alexa. And this has been so great and exciting. And like I said, I give you and Stephanie major props. You guys are like my heroes, and keep up the good work.
Hey, you do the same, and we're proud of you. Look at out in Los Angeles, where it's hard to, even get a job as a waiter or a busboy these days. And look at you. I mean, my God.
I'm trying.
So, yeah. Hey, I'll tell you what. Well, thank you for having me. I mean, actually, this is kind of cool. I never get to be interviewed, so it's kind of refreshing for me. So I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right. Take care of yourself. Be well.
To listen. Oh, I'm begging you now, yeah. People, I'm down on my knees, begging, please, oh please, could you learn to love?